Welcome to the first video spotlight in Misanthropy Movie Vlog. My name is Gordon Maples, and today I'm going to take you through one of my favorite all-time B-movies, The Stuff by Larry Cohen. The story of The Stuff surrounds a mysterious dessert that takes the consumer world by storm, throwing the established dessert industry into a panic. The dessert Illuminati,
I suppose we do have to keep the world safe for ice cream,
collectively hire an eccentric former intelligence agent named Mo Rutherford.
I don't think you're quite as dumb as you appear to be.
No one is as dumb as I appear to be.
To investigate the product. As the covert investigation proceeds, however, the stuff becomes increasingly eerie, suspicious, and dangerous. After a series of team-ups with a disgruntled ice cream baron,
You're Chocolate Chip Charlie!
Well, I sure as hell ain't the Kentucky Colonel.
a conservative paramilitary organization,
What, are you in the army or something?
We are your only army, son.
and a small child, Rutherford decides to take the stuff head-on. The Stuff was written, directed, and co-produced by the one and only Larry Cohen, one of the unsung kings of the B-movie. Not only did he create countless horror flicks like the It's Alive franchise, the Maniac Cop franchise, and God Told Me To, but he also created a couple of blaxploitation classics in Hell Up in Harlem and Black Caesar. Additionally, he wound up writing a couple of highly acclaimed thrillers in Phone Booth and Cellular. The cast and crew for The Stuff featured a number of frequent Larry Cohen collaborators. These included editor Armin Leibowitz, cinematographer Paul Glickman, and even the lead of the movie, Michael Moriarty. Michael Moriarty was well known as a method actor, and was actually a close friend of Robert De Niro's. So he's a bit infamous as a B-movie performer, because no matter what, he puts in a performance, for better or worse.
Stop this, don't you understand? He's just a baby! And he's got the power to defend himself because they're trying to kill him. When the other babies were born, they had him murdered in the goddamn operating room. Right in front of him. You don't think this baby knows? He's just a baby. And he knows. They put a chain around his neck. They put him in a cage. They bring him in here. They got guns all around him and lights. How would you feel if you were born into a world that looked at you and wanted you dead? Go away, evil dream. Leave my baby alone.
The rest of the cast of The Stuff is made up of people like Danny Aiello,
And be better off than you are.
Garrett Morris,
Our top story tonight, a Harris poll has revealed that Humphrey is ahead of both Ford and Reagan.
Humphrey is ahead of both Ford and Reagan.
Paul Sorvino,
Now I gotta turn my back.
and in the background you might recognize some people like Mira Sorvino, Patrick Dempsey, Abe Vigoda, and Eric Bogosian. And also, if you have a very keen eye, you might spot a Larry Cohen regular in James Dixon, who seems to show up in everything the guy's ever done.
Now I know where I've seen your face before. Jughead. You look exactly like Jughead. Shut the fuck up. Hey.
The makeup effects team for The Stuff included such names as Ed French, of Chud, Paul Blart Mall Cop, and Dragon Ball Evolution, Rick Stratton, of Class of 1999, Star Trek The Next Generation, and Galaxy Quest, and Craig Lyman, of Akiva Goldsman's Winter's Tale and M. Night Shyamalan's The Happening. So the production was generally in good hands. The visual effects team for The Stuff have some equally impressive resumes. Members worked on such movies as Stuart Gordon's Robot Jocks, Dolls, and Space Truckers, the Cannon Group's infamous ninja possession flick Ninja 3 The Domination, IMDb Bottom 100 members and MST3K victims Laser Blast and Soul Taker, Paul Verhoeven's infamous misstep Showgirls, and a handful of not-so-beloved sequels, RoboCop 3, Lawnmower Man 2, and Jaws 3D. The special effects work on The Stuff is credited to one Brett Culpepper, who also worked on movies like Stuart Gordon's Reanimator, The Beastmaster, and Back to the Future Part 3. However, he wasn't always an effects worker. He also worked as a set medic, a model builder, a technical advisor, and on one case, he worked as a ferret wrangler. There was interestingly an extensive legal battle over the effects work done for The Stuff. It actually set some significant precedent for the ownership of effects done specifically for films. It's actually a pretty interesting read if you even have a cursory interest in copyright law. Speaking of those effects, Darren Lynn Bousman, the director of such films as Saw 2, Saw 3, and Repo, the Genetic Opera, covered the stuff in a segment for Joe Dante's Trailers from Hell, in which he claims to have first seen the stuff while doing research on how to make a head melt.
Larry Cohen's satirical film, The Stuff, is quite possibly in the upper echelons of films such as Citizen Kane, Birth of a Nation. It changed my life as a filmmaker, and I'm sure this trailer is going to change yours, so let's take a look at it.
The Stuff features some genuinely interesting effect sequences, including a bedroom attack by the Stuff that pays homage to A Nightmare on Elm Street, even using this exact same state-of-the-art effects room.
Look at that, that's meant for us!
Kill him! Kill him all!
The stuff itself was made up of an assortment of different materials, depending on the scene. For some sequences, it was superimposed animation. For others, it was yogurt, ice cream, even fire extinguishing foam. And in some sequences, it was apparently made of a wretched bone meal concoction. Ugh.
The reception for The Stuff was somewhat mixed. It currently holds Rotten Tomatoes scores of 70% from critics and 45% from audiences. It also has an IMDb rating of 5.9. It was made on a $1.7 million budget, but received only a limited theatrical release with an undisclosed total gross. However, it has certainly become a cult classic thanks to the effects, acting, and bizarrely humorous plot.
As with many Larry Cohen films, The Stuff features a significant element of social commentary, particularly about consumerism and advertising. There's even a call-out in the dialogue about Coca-Cola having a secret formula that nobody knows, and nobody seems to care.
They're protected by the FDA Statute of Identities rule. The same law protects Coca-Cola. Secret formula for their syrup.
Behind the scenes, Larry Cohen has actually mentioned that one of the big influences on the movie was the amount of advertising done for cigarettes, which obviously are harmful to people, just like The Stuff.
Even then, being victimized by products that end up being harmful to them. So you constantly today you see about medications being pulled off the market because they're killing the people they're supposed to be helping, or giving them lifelong illnesses that they'll never get over. And pharmaceutical companies are doing this right and left. And the the Federal Trade Commission and all that, they okay products too quickly, and then they find out that they're doing stuff which is detrimental to people. But the biggest product that was killing people was cigarettes. And they were advertising everything. I mean, in the old days of television, almost every other commercial was cigarettes.
The plot and style of The Stuff is sort of a hodgepodge of Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Blob, two classic sci-fi movies. However, The Stuff has that element of humor and a lot of satire that makes it stand apart from those two classic movies, and it really is unique because of it. Interestingly enough, in 1993, Larry Cohen got to co-write his own version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers with the remake Body Snatchers, ultimately directed by Abel Ferrara. The Stuff features a number of hammy performances, particularly from Paul Sorvino and Garrett Morris, and of course Michael Moriarty. How can you not love that Southern Fried ex-special agent? Even the child actor gets to get in on the hammy acting parade, particularly with this grocery store freakout scene, which is very memorable.
Hey, give me that! Hey, give me that bat! What do you think you're doing?
Overall, The Stuff has to be one of my favorite B-movies of all time. It has everything you could possibly want. Over-the-top acting, a ridiculous monster, a ludicrous plot, Really, it's essentially the platonic ideal of a good bad movie. Not everyone agrees with me, but I think that if you really dig into it, nobody's going to dispute the fact that this movie is a lot of fun. I recommend anybody check this out. It is, again, a whole lot of fun, and in conclusion, I certainly can't get enough of the stuff.
The stuff is here now, great new day sensation, light and free now, gives you elevation. Enough is never enough, enough is never enough of the stuff.
The stuff, the taste that makes you hungry for more. The stuff, taste that delivers.
If you liked The Stuff, I recommend checking out some of Larry Cohen's other films, like the It's Alive franchise, about murderous mutant babies, Q, the Winged Serpent, a stop-motion Harryhausen-style monster movie with a gritty cop twist, the cult classic religious cult thriller God Told Me To, or the blaxploitation groundbreaker Black Caesar, starring Fred the Hammer Williamson. For more movie trivia and reviews, check out my website, Misantropy Movie Blog, at misantropy.com, on Facebook at Misantropy Movie Blog, and on Twitter at Misantropy. Do you have a movie that you think I should cover? Let me know in the comments.